The night sky above Earth glowed with millions of stars, silent and distant. To most people, they were just twinkling lights. But on this night, one of those stars carried a voice, a desperate voice that would change the future of humanity forever. Inside a quiet laboratory at the United Nations Space Command headquarters, a young scientist named Dr. Lila Trent stared at her monitor. She had been listening to deep space frequencies for years, searching for any trace of intelligent life beyond Earth. Her small team had scanned thousands of signals, static, echoes, and noise, but never anything that spoke with purpose. Until now. A strange sound pulsed through her headphones, a pattern of tones too deliberate to be random. Her eyes widened as she watched the waveform dance on the screen. It wasn't just a signal. It was a message. She pressed the intercom. "Control room, this is Dr. Trent. I've got something." "It's not a regular transmission. You need to hear this." Within minutes, the room filled with officers and analysts. The main screen flickered, showing strange symbols and rhythmic waves. The sound was soft, almost musical, but filled with sadness. Lila began decoding, her fingers flying across the keyboard. She recognized a repeating word structure, something like a language. Complex, melodic, ancient. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "It's a distress call, coming from somewhere beyond Jupiter's orbit. The signal's origin is too far for any human craft." The senior officer, General Marcus Vale, frowned. "From where exactly?" Lila adjusted the frequency range. "It's triangulating from deep space and at least 200 light-years away. That's impossible. No signal should reach us from that distance so clearly." The sound grew louder, then shifted into a translated voice. It wasn't robotic. It sounded real, emotional, alive. "To the warriors of Earth, this is Queen Arthela of Nuvrion Prime. Our world is dying. We face extinction under the fleets of Draxion the Conqueror. He burns our skies and chains our people. If you hear this, help us. You are our last hope." The room went silent. Every person present felt the weight of that voice. It wasn't just a call for help. It was a cry for survival from another world. The message spread quickly through the global network. Within hours, world leaders gathered through secure communication channels. The people of Earth, long divided by politics and fear, listened together for the first time to an alien queen's plea. News channels called it the call from the stars. Some believed it was a trap. Others said it was fate, proof that humanity was not alone. But to those who truly listened, the queen's voice carried truth and pain. Dr. Lila Trent stood before the Global Council, explaining what she had found. "This isn't a random broadcast," she said firmly. "It's focused. It's directed to us. The Queen's message refers to humanity as warriors who defied extinction. Somehow, she knows our history, our struggles, our wars, and our ability to survive when all hope is lost." President Zhao of the Earth Union leaned forward. "You're saying she believes we can help her?" "Yes," Lila replied. "She believes we are strong enough to fight back." The room erupted in whispers and debate. Sending help to another world was unthinkable. The distance, the risk, the technology. But humanity had changed. After decades of peace and cooperation, Earth had built a small but powerful space fleet capable of interstellar travel. Still, no mission had ever gone that far. General Vale finally spoke. "Dr. Trent, if this queen is real and her world is under attack, what exactly are we walking into?" Lila took a breath. "A war we've never seen before. The enemy she describes, Draxion the Conqueror, commands armies that destroy entire civilizations. But she wouldn't send a message like this unless she believed we could make a difference." Silence hung in the air again. Then the president said, "If humanity ever had a reason to reach the stars, this is it." The next morning, the news reached every corner of Earth. People gathered in homes, cities, and space stations to hear the Queen's message played again. Children watched the stars and imagined her world. Soldiers stood at attention, feeling pride in their species. For the first time in centuries, the people of Earth were united by something greater than themselves. In a hidden training facility in the Nevada desert, Captain Ryan Cole received the call. He was a veteran of the Martian Defense War, known for his courage and leadership. When the order came to assemble a team for a deep space rescue, he didn't hesitate. He stood before his squad of elite soldiers. "You've heard the call," he said. "A queen on a distant world is asking for our help. We don't know her. We don't owe her. But she believes in us. That's more than most have ever done. So we're going to bring her home. Among his team was Major Imani Rhodes, a ground combat specialist with unmatched tactical skill, and Arya Nakamura, the best pilot Earth had ever produced. Together, they would form the core of Task Force Helios, humanity's first interstellar rescue force. Dr. Lila Trent joined them as the mission's scientific officer and communications expert. She alone could translate the alien language and guide them through the Queen's world. When the team first met, they stood under the shadow of their ship, the Valiant Dawn. Sleek, silver and powerful, it was Earth's most advanced spacecraft. The human flag and the United Nations emblem gleamed on its hull. Captain Cole looked at his crew. We're not just fighting for another planet. We're fighting to show what humanity stands for. We fight for life no matter where it comes from. That night before launch, Dr. Trent sat alone in her quarters, staring at the holographic image of Queen Arthella that had been reconstructed from the signal. The Queen had gentle eyes, silver skin that shimmered like moonlight, and a regal expression full of sorrow and strength. Lila whispered softly, "We're coming for you. I promise." Meanwhile, on the edge of known space, the Queen stood in the ruins of her palace. Nuvrion Prime was burning. Draxion's armies filled the skies with their black ships. She watched from a shattered window as her world crumbled. Her last message had been sent days ago. She didn't know if anyone had heard it. But in her heart, she believed, if any species in the galaxy could defy the impossible, it would be humanity. "May the stars guide them to us," she murmured, her voice trembling. Back on Earth, the countdown began. The Valiant Dawn prepared for its historic journey. Engineers worked through the night, checking every system, every weapon, every shield. The world watched live as the ship stood ready on the launch pad. At dawn, sunlight touched its metallic surface. Captain Cole's voice echoed through the broadcast. "This is Captain Ryan Cole of Task Force Helios. To all who can hear us, we go not to conquer but to rescue. We carry with us the strength of humanity, the will to fight, and the promise that no cry for help will go unanswered." The engines roared to life. The ship rose into the sky, cutting through clouds and breaking free from Earth's gravity. The people below cheered. Children waved flags. Scientists wept. Soldiers saluted. For the first time in human history, a rescue mission to another world had begun. The Valiant Dawn soared toward the stars, following the faint signal of a Queen's plea, a message that had crossed the void of space to find the one species stubborn enough to fight for hope. Humanity had answered the call. The Valiant Dawn glided silently through the dark sea of stars. Its engines hummed with quiet strength, carrying humanity's first rescue mission far from home. Inside the ship, the crew of Task Force Helios prepared for the greatest journey ever taken by humankind. Captain Ryan Cole stood at the main observation window, staring at the endless stars stretching into infinity. The weight of responsibility pressed on his shoulders, but his heart was steady. This wasn't a mission for glory or conquest. It was for something far greater. He turned as the door slid open. Major Imani Rhodes, tall and confident, entered the bridge. She was dressed in her combat armor, every piece polished and ready. "Navigation checks complete," she reported. "All systems green. Dr. Trent says our signal lock on Nuvrion Prime is still stable." Cole nodded. "Good, how's the crew?" Imani gave a half smile. "A little tense. They know we're heading where no human's gone before, but they're ready. They believe in this mission." Cole smiled faintly. "Then that's enough. Fear's normal. Courage is moving forward anyway." In the lower decks, Dr. Lila Trent worked tirelessly inside the communications lab. Screens surrounded her, showing the decoded parts of Queen Arthella's message. Lines of alien script floated before her eyes. She was trying to piece together more of the Queen's words, hoping to learn something about the enemy they were about to face. As she typed, a soft voice spoke behind her. "Still decoding, Doc?" It was Arya Nakamura, the ship's pilot. She had short black hair, bright eyes, and the calm focus of someone born to fly. Lila smiled tiredly. "Yes." The Queen used advanced harmonic language. Each symbol carries emotion as well as meaning. It's like speaking through music. I can feel her fear in every word. Arya leaned against the console. "You think she's still alive?" Lila hesitated, then nodded slowly. "I have to believe she is. Her last transmission said she was hiding, waiting for help. If she gave up hope, she wouldn't have sent that message. Arya looked out through the viewport. Then we'll find her. No one sends a distress call to Earth and gets left behind. Not on my watch. Hours turned into days. The Valiant Dawn moved faster than light, its engines powered by a quantum core, the newest human invention, untested beyond the solar system. The stars outside streaked like white rivers as the ship cut through hyperspace. Inside, the crew trained, prepared, and bonded like family. In the training bay, Imani drilled her soldiers in low-gravity combat. "Remember," she shouted, "Draxion's forces won't fight like humans. They'll use strange weapons, alien tech. Dap fast or you're done." She spun her training spear in a graceful arc, disarming one of the recruits with ease. The others laughed nervously. Imani grinned. "Don't worry. You'll get there. Just remember, humans don't quit. Ever." Meanwhile, Captain Cole studied every scrap of intelligence from the Queen's message. Draxion's name appeared again and again, always tied to destruction. Planets burned, cities vanished, entire species disappeared. He was a conqueror without mercy, leading an army of machines and bioengineered soldiers. Cole muttered to himself, if he thinks humanity will bow, he's in for a surprise. On the fourth day, alarms echoed through the ship. "Captain, to the bridge," came Arya's voice over the comms. "We're picking up something ahead." Cole sprinted to the control deck. The stars outside flickered as they dropped out of hyperspace. In front of them floated a massive wreck, an alien ship, twisted and broken, its hull glowing faintly blue. "Scanners?" Cole ordered. "Reading minimal power," said Imani, scanning the data. "No life signs. But this ship's design matches the Queen's world. It's Nuvrian technology." Lila's heart pounded. "Maybe survivors left something, data, coordinates, anything to guide us." Cole nodded. "Arya, bring us closer. Prepare a boarding team." Moments later, the Valiant Dawn's docking clamps latched onto the wrecked ship. Cole, Imani, and Lila suited up in their exo-armor and entered the airlock. The heavy door opened with a hiss, revealing the dark interior of the alien craft. Inside, silence ruled. The walls shimmered faintly with bioluminescent veins. Strange symbols glowed on the panels, and floating crystals drifted in zero gravity. It was hauntingly beautiful and heartbreaking. This place. "It's like a ghost ship," Lila whispered. Cole moved forward cautiously. "Stay sharp. We don't know what's left in here." They followed the corridor until they reached what looked like a command chamber. In the center floated a cracked crystal sphere, still pulsing with dim light. Lila approached it and touched the surface. The sphere reacted, flaring briefly before projecting a holographic image. It was the Queen. Her form shimmered, damaged by static, but her voice was clear. "To whoever finds this, we are losing. Draxion's fleets burn our skies. I am retreating to the hidden citadel of Valora, deep within the northern mountains. If you are coming, hurry. Time is short." The hologram flickered out. Cole clenched his fist. "That's it. We've got her location." Imani smiled grimly. "Then we're going to Valora." Suddenly the ship shook violently. The corridor lights flashed red. Arya's voice crackled through their comms. "Captain, we've got incoming. Multiple contacts, Draxion patrol drones." Cole drew his weapon. "Move, back to the ship!" The alien wreck exploded into chaos. Metallic drones burst through the walls, sleek, black, and fast, firing streams of plasma. Cole fired back, his rifle lighting the dark. Imani spun around, covering Lila as she ran. The drones were fast, but the humans were faster. Years of training paid off as they fought through the narrow corridors. Imani used her shock grenades to create barriers, while Cole's precise shots tore through enemy sensors. They reached the airlock just as a massive explosion rocked the alien ship. Cole shoved Lila into the chamber. "Go now!" The Valiant Dawn's doors sealed shut behind them, and Arya wasted no time. "Hang on," she shouted. The ship roared to life, breaking away from the wreck just as it exploded into a cloud of fire and debris. On the bridge, alarms blared. "2 more drones following us," Arya said. "Evasive pattern Delta 3, Cole ordered. Arya's hands moved like lightning over the controls. The Valiant Dawn spun through space, dodging plasma blasts. One drone exploded under return fire, but the second latched onto the ship's rear hull. Imani ran to the engineering bay, grabbed a magnetic launcher, and fired through the maintenance hatch. The shot hit dead center. The drone burst into sparks and vanished into the void. Target destroyed, she reported calmly. Cole exhaled slowly. Nice shooting. After the battle, the crew gathered in the common room. They were bruised, exhausted, but alive. Layla replayed the Queen's hologram again. Her voice, though faint, filled the room. If you are coming, hurry, silence followed. Every face reflected determination. Captain Cole looked around at his team. We just got a taste of what we're up against. Draxian's not going to let us reach her easily. But we're not turning back. Humanity doesn't abandon those who ask for help. Imani nodded. If he wants a fight, we'll give him one he'll never forget. Arya grinned. Let's make history while we're at it. Lila smiled softly. And let's bring her home. Cole placed his hand over the mission emblem on his chest, a symbol of Earth and the stars entwined. We're Helios, he said firmly. The light that shines in the dark. Let's finish what we started. Outside, the valiant dawn accelerated once more, leaving behind the shattered wreck and streaking toward Nuvrian Prime, a world waiting in silence. Hoping that help would come, humanity was on its way. The endless dark of space surrounded the valiant dawn as it raced toward Nuvrian Prime. The faint glow of distant stars painted silver reflections across its hull. Inside, tension filled every corridor. The crew of Task Force Helios knew they were approaching a battlefield, a place where entire civilizations had fallen. Captain Ryan Cole stood at the main bridge, his eyes locked on the holographic display. The screen showed the planet Nuvrion Prime ahead, glowing blue and green, but its orbit was surrounded by hundreds of red dots. Enemy ships. Draxion's armada. Scanners confirm heavy activity around the planet, reported Major Imani Rhodes, checking her console. Dozens of battleships, drones, and orbital cannons. It's a full siege. Cole crossed his arms. And the Queen's signal? Dr. Lila Trent looked up from her translator unit. Still active, but weak. It's coming from the northern hemisphere, near the mountains of Valora. That's where she said she would hide. Arya Nakamura, seated in the pilot's chair, gave a small grin. Looks like we'll have to sneak through a whole fleet just to get there. Easy job? Cole smiled faintly. Just the way we like it. The ship dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of Nuvrion's system. Almost instantly, warning lights flashed red. The main screen filled with massive warships, dark, spiked, and alive with crimson energy. Draxion's forces, contact! Enemy ships detecting us, shouted Imani. Evasive maneuvers! Cole barked. Arya's hands flew across the controls. The valiant dawn rolled sharply to the left as a beam of energy sliced past, missing by meters. Alarms blared. The stars outside twisted as the ship weaved through the chaos. Lila gripped her seat. They're targeting us. Hold on, Arya shouted. She flipped a switch, sending the ship diving behind a shattered moon. Fragments of rock drifted by as plasma fire lit the darkness. Cole steadied himself. Status? Shields holding, said Imani. But we can't take direct hits for long. Cole studied the map. There's a narrow debris corridor through the field. Arya, can you get us through without being seen? Arya smirked. Watch me. The valiant dawn slipped through the wreckage of fallen ships, silent giants from old battles. Broken hulls floated like tombstones, their metal torn apart by war. The crew held their breath as Draxion's patrol drones passed nearby, scanning for movement. Lila whispered, It's like flying through a graveyard. Arya's voice was calm. Then let's make sure we don't join it. Every movement had to be perfect. One wrong turn, one wrong thruster burn, and they'd be detected. But Arya's skill was unmatched. The ship glided between shattered wings through clouds of dust and drifting metal, like a shadow in the dark. Finally, they cleared the last wreck. Imani exhaled in relief. We're through, Cole smiled. Nice flying, Lieutenant. Thank you, sir, Arya said with a wink. Now where's our queen? Lila pointed to the glowing signal on her screen. There and in the mountains of Valora. But we have to get past one more obstacle. There's an enemy fortress on the surface near her location. It's broadcasting jamming signals, Cole nodded. Then we take it down. Prepare a ground team. An hour later, the valiant dawn entered the upper atmosphere of Nuvrion Prime. The planet below was both beautiful and tragic. Green forests burned with fire. Blue oceans glowed with strange storms, and the once golden cities lay in ruin. The ship descended through clouds of smoke. From above, they could see Draxion's forces, black ships hovering over destroyed towns and giant machines crawling across the land. Cole stood by the drop bay with his team. Each soldier checked their armor, weapons, and oxygen systems. Lila carried a translator pad and a small drone for scanning. Imani double-checked the explosives strapped to her belt. Cole spoke firmly. Our target is the enemy fortress broadcasting the jamming signal. We take it out fast, then locate the Queen. Stay sharp, stay together. Imani grinned. Just another day saving the galaxy. The bay doors opened. Wind and fire roared in. Go, Cole shouted. The team leapt from the valiant dawn into the sky. Their jetpacks flared blue as they descended through the smoke. Explosions shook the air as Draxian's patrols spotted them. Plasma bolts zipped past, lighting up the clouds. Cole twisted midair and fired his rifle, blasting a drone out of the sky. Imani landed on a cliff, rolled, and returned fire with perfect aim. Arya's voice crackled in their helmets. You've got more incoming from the west. I'm giving you air cover. Her fighter swooped down, spraying enemy mechs with pulse fire. They exploded like fireworks against the dark hills. Lila stayed behind cover, scanning for the source of the jamming. It's close. The signal's coming from that tower. She pointed. Cole nodded. Then that's our target. Move. They charged across rocky ground under heavy fire. Draxian soldiers, tall armored figures with glowing red eyes, emerged from the fortress gates. Their weapons hissed with energy, but the humans didn't slow down. Imani threw a shock grenade that burst with a blinding flash. The alien staggered and Cole led the assault. He moved like a storm, precise and fearless, taking down enemies one by one. Lila ducked behind a rock, heart pounding, and activated her drone. The small device flew into the air and hacked the tower's systems. I'm in, she shouted. Just need a few more seconds. Cole covered her, firing at approaching troops. You've got them, Arya's voice came through again. Captain, enemy reinforcements are launching from the fortress hangar. Cole grit his teeth. Imani explosives! Already on it, she said, sprinting toward the base of the tower. She planted charges, set the timer, and ran back just as the alien reinforcements appeared. Charges set. Cole shouted, everyone fall back! They dove behind rocks as the tower exploded in a massive burst of light. The shockwave threw dust and flames into the air. The fortress's jamming field collapsed instantly. Lila checked her scanner. The Queen's signal, it's clear now. I can trace her exactly. Cole smiled through the smoke. Good work, team. Let's go bring her home. They regrouped and moved quickly toward the Queen's coordinates. The path led into the snowy peaks of the Valora Mountains. The landscape was quiet now, only the sound of wind and the distant hum of alien engines. Lila's scanner beeped softly. She's close, less than a kilometer ahead. They followed the signal to a hidden cave beneath the ice. The entrance was faintly glowing with blue light. Inside, the air felt warm, almost alive. Strange crystal formations lined the walls, pulsing softly like hearts. Cole raised his weapon. Stay alert. They advanced slowly until they reached a vast underground chamber. In the center stood a crystal pod, glowing with soft silver light. Inside, they could see a faint figure, the Queen of Nuvrian Prime. Her body was suspended in a stasis field, her silver skin shining like moonlight. She looked peaceful, but weak. Lila stepped forward with awe. It's her, Queen Arthela. Cole touched his comm. Mission Control, we found the Queen, she's alive. But before they could celebrate, the ground trembled violently. A deep mechanical roar echoed through the cave. Imani drew her weapon. Something's coming. The ice ceiling cracked. Massive machines dropped from above. Draxian's elite guardians. Cole's jaw tightened. Defensive positions. Protect the Queen. The air filled with fire and smoke. Plasma bolts flew as the team fought fiercely. Cole and Imani worked side by side, covering Lila as she tried to deactivate the stasis field. Arya, flying above in the valiant dawn, bombarded the mountain to slow the enemy's advance. Lila shouted, almost there. The stasis crystal flickered, then shattered. The Queen fell gently into Lila's arms, breathing weakly. Cole's voice was firm. We've got her. Everyone fall back. Imani threw smoke charges and the team retreated toward the extraction point. The valiant dawn swooped down through the snowstorm, its cargo ramp open. They jumped aboard as explosions shook the mountain. Arya pulled up, engines screaming as enemy fire followed them into the sky. Hold on, she yelled. The valiant dawn burst through the clouds, leaving the battlefield behind. Lila looked down at the Queen, who slowly opened her glowing eyes. Her voice was soft, filled with gratitude. "Humans, you came," Cole smiled gently. "We keep our promises, Your Majesty." Outside, the stars stretched ahead once more. The Queen was safe, one for now, but the war was far from over. Because somewhere in the darkness, Draxion the Conqueror had just learned that humanity had arrived. The valiant dawn cruised silently through the black expanse of space, carrying Queen Arthella back to safety. But there was no time to celebrate. Every member of Task Force Helios knew that Draxion the Conqueror would not let them escape unchallenged. Somewhere in the void, the dark fleets of his armada were mobilizing, searching for the humans who dared defy him. Captain Ryan Cole stood on the bridge, staring at the holographic display of the enemy fleet. Ships moved like a deadly tide stretching across the stars. "They're regrouping," he said quietly. "And they're coming for us." Major Imani Rhodes crossed her arms. "Then we meet them head-on. We've faced worse on Earth, haven't we?" Cole nodded. "Yes, but Draxion is different. His ships are massive and his troops are more than just soldiers. We need a plan." Dr. Lila Trent, standing near the communications panel, looked at the Queen. "Your Majesty, I'm translating your previous messages. You mentioned the Tyrant Star, the flagship of Draxion's fleet. If we can reach it, we might be able to strike at the heart of his command." Queen Arthella's silver eyes glowed softly. "It is heavily guarded. Many have tried to reach it and failed, but if humans stand with us, perhaps the impossible is possible." Cole placed a hand over his chest. "We're not here to fail. We're here to fight and to prove that humanity stands for those who cannot fight for themselves." Arya Nakamura leaned back in her chair. "Then let's give him a reason to remember the name Earth." The plan was simple but dangerous. The valiant dawn would act as a decoy, drawing Draxion's fleet into a narrow asteroid belt, where the humans could use the terrain to their advantage. Meanwhile, Cole and Imani would lead a boarding team directly onto the Tyrant Star. Lila would accompany them to disable the enemy systems from within, and Arya would provide aerial support. As the crew prepared, tension was high. Soldiers cleaned weapons, checked armor, and ran simulations in the training bay. Lila studied the alien schematics, memorizing corridors and energy shields. Arya ran drills in the fighter bays, practicing maneuvers at speeds beyond human limits. Finally, the signal came. Draxion's forces had detected the valiant dawn. Red warning lights flashed across the bridge. "Visual contacts," said Arya, her voice calm but sharp. "Hundreds of ships all bearing down on us." Cole took a deep breath. "All right. Initiate evasive patterns. Let's lead them to the asteroid belt." The valiant dawn accelerated, engines roaring. The stars outside twisted into streaks as they dropped out of hyperspace. Draxion's fleet followed immediately, their weapons glowing crimson in the void. Imani leaned over the tactical display. "We can't outrun them for long, but if we get into the belt, their numbers won't matter as much. Their ships are too big to maneuver quickly." Cole nodded. "Then it's time to show them what humanity can do." The asteroid belt loomed ahead, jagged, enormous rocks floating silently through space. Cole's crew maneuvered the ship expertly, dodging massive stones and weaving through narrow channels. Draxion's ships struggled to keep pace, their immense size making them vulnerable in the tight passages. "Target on my left," Arya shouted, spinning her fighter around. She fired pulse blasts that struck a massive cruiser, sending it tumbling into an asteroid. Another ship collided with debris, exploding in brilliant orange fire. Imani's voice came over the comm. "Cole, the boarding pod is ready. We can breach the Tyrant Star from the upper hangar." Cole grinned. "Then let's go meet the enemy face to face." The boarding pod detached from the valiant dawn, carrying Cole, Imani, Lila, and a small strike team. They hurtled through space, approaching the flagship like shadows in the void. Inside the massive ship, silence reigned. The corridors were lit with faint red light, pulsing in rhythm with the ship's core. Alien symbols glowed on the walls and strange machinery hummed ominously. Cole motioned to the team. "Stay quiet, move fast. We can't alert the entire ship before we reach the Queen's location, or before we disable their systems." Imani led the way, her armor clinking softly. Every corner could hide danger. Drones patrolled the hallways, scanning for movement. Lila whispered, "The Queen's energy signature is just ahead. We're close." Suddenly, a squad of Draxion's elite soldiers appeared, towering figures clad in black armor with glowing red eyes. Plasma weapons hummed in their hands. Cole and Imani didn't hesitate. They fought with precision and speed, covering each other's backs. Cole fired. Imani rolled and struck, and Lila stayed behind cover, hacking into the enemy systems to open doors and disable alarms. The battle was fierce, but humanity fought differently when with courage, unity, and relentless determination. Every movement was calculated, every attack purposeful. The alien soldiers fell back, surprised by the humans' adaptability. After clearing the hallway, they reached the command elevator. Lila connected her device to the access panel, opening the lift. Now. The doors slid open to reveal a massive chamber, the bridge of the Tyrant Star. At the center stood Draxion, towering, armored, and imposing. His eyes glowed crimson. "You dare enter my ship?" he boomed. "Humans, fools. You should have stayed on your tiny planet." Cole stepped forward, voice firm. "We fight for freedom, for life, for those you would destroy. That is why we are here." Draxion laughed, a sound that shook the walls. "You fight for something you cannot even comprehend, and yet, here you are." Imani positioned herself beside Cole. "We understand just enough to stop you." Draxion raised his hand and energy surged through the floor. The team was thrown back. Cole rolled to his feet, firing, while Imani dodged and struck with her melee weapon. Lila ran forward to the energy core controls, tapping into the ship's systems to shut down its defensive shields. The room erupted into chaos, beams of energy, flashing lights, and the sounds of battle filled the chamber. But the humans did not waver. Lila shouted, "Almost there! The shields are weakening." Cole gritted his teeth. "Hold your positions! Protect her!" The Queen's pod floated safely behind cover, shielded by a temporary barrier that Lila had activated. She worked quickly, connecting her translator device to the ship's core, hoping to disrupt Draxion's energy channels. Draxion roared in anger. "You cannot stop me." Cole lunged forward, dodging energy blasts. "We are already stopping you." With a sudden surge of determination, Lila activated the final override. The bridge shuddered. Draxion's shields flickered and collapsed. Energy conduits sparked, and systems began failing across the flagship. Imani fired one last precision shot, severing the main power line to the enemy soldiers' armor. They collapsed, stunned and powerless. Draxion staggered, furious and confused. "This is impossible," he shouted. Cole advanced steadily. "Nothing is impossible when we fight together." He and Imani pushed forward, moving like a force of nature. Draxion tried to retaliate, but the humans' strategy and teamwork overwhelmed him. Lila completed the final override, shutting down critical systems and leaving the tyrant vulnerable. The Queen floated forward, her silver eyes meeting Draxion's crimson gaze. "Your reign of terror ends today," she said, her voice steady and commanding. Draxion roared, but with his ships disabled and his soldiers incapacitated, he had no choice but to retreat. Cole lowered his weapon slightly. "The fleet is ours. For now." The bridge fell silent except for the hum of failing machinery. The humans had done what many believed impossible. They had reached the heart of the enemy's fortress and disrupted it. The Queen, though weak, rose from her pod and looked at the team with gratitude. "Humans," she said softly, "you are stronger than even I imagined. You have the courage of your world in your hearts." Cole smiled. "We fight for what's right. That's what humanity does." Imani nodded. "And we'll keep fighting, no matter the odds." Lila touched the Queen's hand gently. "We're not just rescuing you. We're showing the galaxy that humans never abandon hope." Arya's voice came through the comm. "Captain, the Valiant Dawn is ready to extract us. Let's leave before the fleet recovers." Cole turned to the team. "Move out. Our mission isn't over, but we've taken the first step. Humanity stands against the darkness, and we always will." The Queen smiled faintly. "Then let us return and prepare for the final battle. Together." As they left the bridge and the Tyrant Star behind, the stars stretched ahead, a reminder that the war was far from over. But humanity had already proven its courage, resilience, and unity. The real fight was yet to come. The Valiant Dawn cut through the black void of space, carrying Queen Arthella safely away from the Tyrant Star. For a moment, the team allowed themselves a brief sigh of relief. But relief was fleeting. The Tyrant Star's remaining forces would regroup, and Draxion would not forgive this humiliation. Captain Ryan Cole stood at the bridge staring at the stars ahead. "We've slowed him down, but he's not finished yet. He'll come after us. Major Imani Rhodes tightened her grip on the railing. Let him come. We've seen what we can do. If he thinks we're weak, he's wrong. Lila Trent, hovering near the communications console, scanned incoming signals. We've disrupted their fleet, but they're repairing faster than I expected. Draxion has more ships hidden beyond the asteroid belt. We can't outrun them forever. Arya Nakamura leaned forward in the pilot's chair, eyes bright with determination. Then we don't run. We fight. We've got the Queen. That's the point of all this. If he wants a fight, we'll give him one. Cole nodded. Agreed. Prepare the crew for combat. Weapons, shields, drones, everything. We're going to stand our ground. The Valiant Dawn emerged from hyperspace near the outer rim of the Tyrant Star's remaining fleet. Hundreds of Draxion's ships glimmered in the darkness, their weapons charging with red energy. The humans did not flinch. Cole activated the main speakers. This is Captain Ryan Cole of Earth's Task Force Helios. Draxion, hear this. You will not conquer Nuvrian Prime. You will not harm this Queen. Humanity fights for those who cannot fight for themselves. Prepare to be defeated. For a moment, silence answered him. Then a deep mechanical roar echoed from the fleet. Draxion himself appeared on the bridge's hologram, towering, armored, and seething with anger. You dare defy me again? He shouted. Humans, you are nothing. Cole's voice was steady. Nothing? We are everything you fear, hope, courage, and unity. You cannot break what we fight to protect. The battle began. Draxion's ships surged forward, firing waves of crimson energy. Arya piloted the Valiant Dawn with unmatched skill, dodging blasts and returning fire with pulse cannons. The ship twisted and rolled through the void, weaving between massive enemy cruisers and asteroids. Imani coordinated drone squads, sending them into tight formations to intercept enemy fighters. Her strategy was flawless. The drones tore through Draxion's smaller ships while conserving the humans' energy. Cole led the boarding strike team, ready to face Draxion directly if needed. His soldiers moved with precision, protecting the Queen and clearing paths through the corridors of their target ships. Lila Trent worked tirelessly, hacking enemy systems mid-battle. She opened doors, disabled shields, and redirected turrets to target their own fleet's advantage. Every human on the team moved as one, a living machine of courage, skill, and determination. High above the battlefield, the Tyrant Star loomed like a dark mountain in space. Its energy shields flickered from Lila's interference. Cole knew this was their chance. Arya, bring us close. We're going in, he commanded. Understood, she replied. The Valiant Dawn weaved through fire and debris, closing on the massive flagship. The enemy fired relentlessly, but human determination would not be stopped. Cole, Imani, Lila, and the strike team boarded the Tyrant Star, ready to end the fight. The corridors were chaotic. Alarms blared, lights flashed red, and enemy soldiers rushed to defend their master. But humans fought differently. They moved with strategy, with courage, and with unity. Every step forward was precise, every attack calculated. Draxion's elite soldiers fell one by one, stunned by the humans' bravery. At last they reached the inner sanctum, the command chamber of Draxion himself. He towered over them, energy crackling from his armor. You think you can defeat me? Draxion roared. All your kind will fall. Cole stepped forward, weapon ready. We are not here to fall. We are here to fight for life, for hope, for freedom. That is what humanity does. Imani circled to flank him, while Lila activated the ship's core systems. Sparks flew, machinery hummed, and lights flickered. Draxion lashed out, sending waves of energy at the team, but Cole and Imani dodged with perfect timing. Arya's voice came through their comm. I've disabled the external weapons. Go. With Lila's help, Cole and Imani targeted the Tyrant Star's energy core. Precision shots, explosive charges, and skillful coordination began to tear the ship apart from within. Draxion's roar of rage filled the chamber. Impossible, Cole gritted his teeth. Nothing is impossible when we fight together. The Queen watched from a secure platform, weak but alive. Her voice rang out calm and commanding. Humans, the stars themselves will remember what you do today. Her presence gave the team strength. They pushed forward with unrelenting courage. Lila completed the final override, shutting down Draxian's energy systems. The tyrant star shuddered and groaned as explosions rippled through its corridors. Cole and Imani moved to confront Draxion directly. The tyrant tried to strike them with his immense power, but humans had something he could never understand: teamwork, courage, and hope. They dodged, struck, and used strategy to weaken him. Finally, Cole lunged forward with his final strike. Imani followed, forcing Draxion back. The tyrant staggered, his systems failing, his army disabled. "You cannot win," Draxion gasped. Cole stood tall. "We already have." Outside, the valiant Dawn maneuvered through the debris as the tyrant star began to break apart. Arya piloted skillfully, dodging falling fragments and enemy fire. Lila and the Queen were secured, protected by Imani and the strike team. The massive flagship exploded in a blinding flash, sending a shockwave across the void. Every enemy ship without shields was destroyed. The remaining vessels scattered, retreating into the darkness. Silence followed, the calm after a storm. The Queen's eyes shone as she looked at the humans who had saved her. "You have done what I thought impossible. You are true warriors of life." Cole stepped forward, exhausted but proud. "We fight for what's right. That's humanity. We protect life no matter where it comes from." Imani smiled. "And we won't stop no matter the odds." Arya grinned. "Let the galaxy remember Earth's name." Lila gently touched the Queen's hand. "You are safe now. Humanity keeps its promises." As the valiant Dawn lifted off, the stars stretched endlessly ahead. Nuvrian Prime, though scarred and wounded, glowed with hope. The Queen's people would rebuild, and the galaxy would know the courage of humans. Cole stood on the bridge, looking at the stars. "We came to rescue a queen," he said softly. "But we've shown the universe what humanity is capable of. Courage, unity, hope. That's who we are." The Queen's voice rang in his mind, soft but proud. "The stars will remember your deeds. Humanity shines brighter than the fiercest fire. You are the light that guides us all." Back on Earth, people watched the news in awe. Humanity's warriors had traveled beyond the stars, faced impossible odds, and returned victorious. Children gazed at the night sky, dreaming of the heroes who flew through space to protect life. Soldiers, scientists, and ordinary people stood together, united by a single truth: humanity could rise, could fight, and could protect what was right. Cole looked at his team one last time. "We did what we set out to do, but this is just the beginning. Humanity has a place in the stars, and we will defend it, always." The Queen's message was clear to the universe. Earth is not just a planet. It is a symbol of courage. Its people fight for life, and their light will guide the galaxy. And with that, the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter, carrying the legacy of humans who dared to fight, not for conquest, not for power, but for hope, justice, and life. The mission was over, but humanity's promise had only begun.